You have the lightest touch, you know that? Thank you very much. Oh my God. I get half a puppy when she gets close to me.
We are rolling.
Down, boy. Hello and welcome to Speak Liberal to Me. I'm Neil Piggott. Thanks for joining me. Well, there's been a lot of chatter about renewables and coal in recent weeks, and it seems to have created quite a bit of a stir for members in Queensland and particularly South Australia, like Lights Out, who writes, "Dear Neil, what an embarrassment it was the other week when, during a break from Parliament, I had a dinner party in my electorate and the power went off. Luckily, my wife had already prepped the Caesar salad and we simply had prawns and Pinot instead of chicken and white. Pity the many South Australians who had no power to microwave their dinners. It made me realise that we're at risk of becoming more of a poverty-stricken backwater without reliable power. I think we're all sick of making apologies for this ridiculous Labor state government. How would you approach these tree huggers who say renewables are the future?" Well, I think you're being too kind calling them tree huggers, Lights Out. Economic vandals is closer to the point. Ideologically driven alarmists who can't seem to get their story straight. The problem, of course, in South Australia was no sun and too much wind. And if we're to believe these vandals, that spells big trouble because, according to them, that will happen more often as a result of global warming. Or will it? We keep getting told the science is in on global warming and that renewables are the only way to save the planet. But who is it that's telling us this? Bloody-minded tofu eaters who have their fingers in the honeypot of public funding. That's who. Men and women of the left who have no concern for the average Australian and a complete disregard for the rights of the poor, led by people calling themselves climate economists, a rabble of natural fibre-wearing number crunchers who, tellingly, to a man, failed to pick the global financial crisis. Let's head straight to the facts. This warming, if it is warming, has so far resulted in no significant or consistent change in the frequency or intensity of storms, floods or droughts, and in fact, the death toll from droughts, floods and storms in Australia has been going down dramatically. Why? Because of technology and prosperity. And where does prosperity come from? You're right, coal. Better roads, higher bridges, stronger houses and better seawalls have created an Australia that's safer than it's ever been. But that kind of safety doesn't come cheap. This is where these people haven't thought this through. The sun is free. There is an entire income stream gone. So where do they think the money for these roads that are keeping us safer is going to come from? And let's not forget, renewables are not only unreliable and carry a huge economic cost, which hit the poorest people hardest, but they have a huge environmental impact too. Without coal-driven power, we're encouraging forest destruction for heat and cooking. We're denying poor people the cheapest form of electricity, which forces them to continue to rely on wood for fuel at great cost to their health and the environment. No new mines in Queensland, and you have 200 million Indians madly chopping down trees when they could be burning our coal. What's more, coal will provide them with security. And what does that mean? It means more Indians, which presents us with another value-adding opportunity. If, according to the Greenies, it's going to get hotter and wetter, some money spent on dams is all we require. With all this extra rainfall and regions being able to produce crops for longer as they warm up, there is no net cost. Money trickling down from the vast wealth of coal can be used to build dams to allow us to grow more crops to feed those extra Indians. We have a chance to be in on the ground floor of a cash bonanza using trickle-down to catch the trickle-down. Of course, the big stick those that peddle renewables as a solution always turn to is the barrier reef. And I have a question for them. If it's at risk, where's the money coming from to fix it? If the coral's bleaching, who'll be there to help us dye it? Certainly not the Indians. They'll be too busy running around trying to catch their topsoil before it washes away because there's no trees to hold it in place. We're already doing an enormous amount to clean up the environment. No more dirty V8 cars, for example. As a wise man said recently, we can't hope to sell our coal if we don't burn a ton of it ourselves. Let's leave renewables for camping holidays. Now that's speaking liberal. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at #SpeakLiberalToMe. That's #SpeakLiberal2me. I've been Neil Piggott. blackout, and bye for now. Whew. No, the last one gave me a rash.